At some point, many people notice something strange. Their income goes up, but their sense of financial ease doesn't. In fact, sometimes it feels worse. If you earn more today than you did a few years ago, but still feel tight, careful, or quietly stressed about money, this video is for you. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're responding logically to a system that quietly pushes people into this situation. Let's start with a very normal scenario. Imagine a young professional in the US or Europe, late 20s or early 30s, decent job, stable income. On paper, things look fine. Say the salary is around $70,000 a year in the US or the European equivalent. After taxes, that's roughly $4,200 a month hitting the bank account. Now the money starts leaving. Rent or mortgage takes about $1,500 to $1,800. A car payment or transport costs another $400 to $600. Student loans take $300. Utilities, internet, phone, another $250. Groceries and basic living around $500. Before anything fun happens, more than 70% of the income is already gone. Then comes life. A few dinners out, a subscription here, a weekend trip, a phone upgrade, a credit card balance that never quite reaches zero. None of these feel irresponsible. They feel normal, earned, reasonable. And yet, by the end of the month, the question quietly appears again. Why does this still feel tight? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The problem isn't spending too much, and it's not earning too little. The problem is that income increases and financial obligations often grow at the same speed. Every raise quietly invites a bigger version of life. A nicer apartment because you can afford it now. A better car because it feels deserved. More convenience, more comfort, more monthly commitments. And most of these commitments are fixed. They don't adjust when your priorities change. Let's look at the math most people never sit down and calculate. That $500 car payment doesn't feel huge month to month, but over 5 years, it's $30,000, not counting interest. A $200 lifestyle upgrade, subscriptions, habits, convenience adds up to $2,400 a year. Over 10 years, that's $24,000. None of this feels dramatic. That's why it works. The real cost isn't the money itself. It's the loss of flexibility. Psychologically, humans adapt very quickly to better conditions. We stop feeling richer almost immediately. But we never adapt to financial pressure. We just normalize it. So even when income rises, the nervous system stays alert because obligations rise too. This is why so many people earning good money still feel financially fragile. Not poor, not desperate, just tight. Now here's where financially intelligent people think differently. They don't ask, can I afford this? They ask, what does this commit future me to? They see monthly payments as long-term contracts with their future freedom. They don't rush to upgrade their lifestyle the moment income rises. They leave space. Space between what they earn and what they need. That space is what creates calm, not the salary number. Over years, this space compounds quietly. Less pressure to keep earning at the same level. More room to change jobs. More resilience when something unexpected happens. And most importantly, less mental noise around money. This isn't about cutting joy or living small. It's about understanding why earning more doesn't automatically feel better and why it often feels the same, or tighter. If this idea helped you see your situation more clearly, consider subscribing to the channel. Not for motivation, but for calm, honest thinking about money. That's all for today. There's another layer to this that rarely gets discussed. When income rises, expectations rise too. Not just personal expectations, but social ones. Colleagues upgrade their cars, friends move into better neighborhoods. Social media quietly resets what normal looks like. No one says you have to keep up, but the pressure exists anyway. So spending doesn't feel like a choice, It feels like alignment, like adulthood, like progress. And that's where the trap deepens, because many people mistake external stability for internal security. A nice apartment looks stable. A new car feels stable. A full calendar of plans feels stable. But none of these reduce financial risk. They increase it. The real risk most people face isn't job loss or recession. It's rigidity. Too many fixed expenses, too many monthly promises made by a past version of themselves. This is why small financial shocks feel large. A medical bill, a temporary income dip, a sudden need to move or change jobs. On paper, the income is strong, but in reality, there's very little room to breathe. Over time, this creates a subtle emotional pattern. People stop thinking long-term. They focus on getting through the next month cleanly. No overdraft, no surprises, no mistakes. That mental state doesn't feel dramatic, but it quietly limits better decisions. Because when money feels tight, even at higher incomes, people choose safety over flexibility and comfort over optionality. Financially thoughtful people don't eliminate pressure overnight. They slowly reverse it. They reduce commitments before increasing lifestyle. They keep raises boring for a while. They let their financial life lag behind their income on purpose. Not forever, just long enough to regain control. And something interesting happens when they do. Money stops being emotional. Spending stops being defensive. Choices stop being rushed. They don't feel richer, they feel calmer. That calm is often mistaken for not enjoying life enough, but in reality, it's what allows enjoyment without anxiety. The goal isn't to win money, it's to stop feeling trapped by it. And that shift doesn't come from earning more. It comes from understanding why more hasn't helped yet. If this perspective made you think differently about your own situation, you might want to stay around. This channel isn't about shortcuts or motivation. It's about seeing money clearly so it stops quietly controlling your decisions. If that sounds useful, you can subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. One last thing that's worth noticing. When people say, "I just need to earn a little more," they're usually not asking for luxury. They're asking for relief. Relief from checking balances, relief from timing expenses, relief from that constant low-level awareness of money in the background. But relief doesn't come from a bigger number. It comes from margin. Margin is the distance between what you earn and what your life automatically consumes. Most people never build that distance because the system encourages them to close it immediately. Higher income is framed as permission, permission to upgrade, permission to commit, permission to lock in a higher version of normal. So the moment margin appears, it disappears. This is why so many financially capable people feel stuck in place. They're moving faster, but not farther. Over years, this creates a quiet paradox. From the outside, life looks successful. From the inside, it feels fragile. Not because of bad decisions, but because no one ever explained that financial comfort is structural, not emotional. It's built from fewer obligations, not more income, from flexibility, not appearances. Once someone truly understands this, their behavior changes without effort. They don't feel tempted by every upgrade. They don't measure success by monthly payments. They don't need to prove progress through spending. They let income rise first. Life follows later. And slowly, almost unnoticeably, money stops feeling tight. Not because life became smaller, but because it finally became manageable. That's the difference most people are actually looking for. Not wealth, not luxury, just the absence of pressure. If this helped you see your financial situation with a little more clarity, you can support the channel by subscribing. No hype, no urgency. Just clearer thinking, one idea at a time. I'll see you in the next video.